right, I got a couple of questions about the data for the lab report, so I just want to show you exactly what I want you to do. So here I am in the instructions for the lab report, and I'm just going to go up here and click. We're going to go to sheets.new. Sheets.new, so you can see that. We're going to pull up a brand new spreadsheet. There it is. And then we're just going to go back to here, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of these data, see what they look like. We'll just copy them, and then we'll just paste them right here. We don't need these totals, I don't think, anymore. It's important to remember that these are the suckers up here, and these are mid-canopy down here. So we have open and close. We need our total, and then we will need percent open. Let's copy these, put them down here. And so to get the total, we're just adding the number that are open to the number that are closed. So I'm going to say equals D3 plus E3. These might look a little bit differently. They might look a little different if you paste them into your spreadsheet differently. Just pay attention to, what cells you're looking at. Let's see if I can bring this over. Pay attention to the cells that your data are in, and just, be cautious. It gives you little hints about what you're actually doing. But we'll just hit enter, and then we'll just drag this down. It suggested a formula, and that formula happened to be correct. But if you lose that, you just single click on the thing where you typed your formula in. We can drag it down. We're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to say equals sum of D13 through E13. Or you could say D13 plus E13. It's the same thing. And it's suggesting the autofill, and it's actually going to be correct this time. You can double check. Yep, it's adding D14, E14. It's adding D15 to E15. Now that we've got that, we want to calculate our percent open. To calculate our percent open, you take the number open and you divide it by the total, just like we did in lab the other day. So I'm going to say equals D3 divided by F3. And we're going to agree to this autofill because it happens to be correct. Let's get a few less decimals. I don't really need that many. 3 decimal places is more than enough. Let's do the same thing down here. So it's the number open divided by the total. So I'm going to say equals D13 divided by F13. Those are correct. We can spot check a couple of these, make sure they are right, and they look like they are. And now we need a little summary table. So I'm going to type in the word average, and then I'm going to type in suckers, and I'm going to type in mid-canopy. And we're actually going to say average percent open, Stomata. Give ourselves a little more room. If you go up here, you'll notice your cursor turns into a couple of arrows. You can double click on it. That should fix things up. Now we're going to find the average for our suckers. So I'm going to type in equals average. And we're going to get the value from G3 through G8, G7. Looks like it's pi 0.314. And we're going to get the average for our mid-canopy. So that is equal to the average from G13 through G18. Not F18, through G18. 17. Just like that. Remember, these are going to look a little bit different depending on where you pasted your data into, and that's fine. Just kind of keep your wits about you. So now I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to go up to Insert a Chart. And there we go. That looks pretty good. You might wind up having to do a little trick over here where you go switch rows and columns. If it looks more like this, you might have to do that, and that's okay. So again, the way you find that is you double click here. You're not in Customize, you're over here in Setup, and you just scroll down to switch rows and columns. You want one to be blue, one to be red. It means it's plotting the two as separate data points. And then we're going to go up. Oh, first we have to calculate our standard deviations. I'm going to keep this down here so it doesn't accidentally get incorporated into our chart. I'm going to bring these two down just so I remember. Now, the formula for standard deviation is equals STDEV. I'm going to get G3 through G7. There we go. Now we're going to get the mid-canopy standard deviation, which is equal to STDEV. And we want these data down here. You can type them in by hand, G13 through G17, or you can just click and grab them. I just clicked and grabbed them. Pretty low looking, which is nice. So let's add our standard deviation error bars. Double click here. And you go ahead and scroll down to where it says series. Remember, we're not in setup. You're in customize over here. So I'll get this again. You double click here. Let me make the chart again just in case, actually. We're going to select all of these. You're going to go up to insert chart, or you can go to help and type in chart and it'll find it for you. Then you're going to double click on this. You're not in setup. You're over here in customize. You're going to go down to series. And we're not going to apply this to all series. We're just going to apply this to the suckers. We're going to scroll down. We're going to go error bars, and we're going to get a constant, which is 0.05934. And actually, yeah. Okay. So again, you go to customize, you go down to series. We're just going to apply this to our mid canopy numbers. You go to error bars. We want a constant. And there you go. So if you got that, fantastic. If not, let's do it at least one more time so we can all see what just happened again. So we have our percent open, which we calculated by dividing our open stomata by our total, and that's reflected here in our formula, D3 divided by F3. So we have all that, and then we're going to take the average percent open for each. So to figure out the average percent open for the suckers, which is the top data, you type in equals average. We're going to go G3 through G7, sorry. And again, just be careful, make sure that it's actually highlighting your percent open. If you pasted this in differently than I did, your data might be in different places. We'll also get the average for the mid canopy, so equals average, and we're going to go G13 through G18, G17. There we go. And this is helpful, by the way, if you like find out like, oops, I switched a value. This isn't quite right. This should actually be 44. Then everything kind of updates automatically. Like look at your average here, changes. But we don't need to worry about that. We're just going to leave it as is. So now that I have this, I'm going to select all of these 6 cells. I'm going to go up to insert a chart. There we have it. There's our chart. Remember, you might need to switch rows and columns, but ours is fine. You want to see 2 colors when you're doing this. We're going to go over here to customize and then down to the series button. You're going to click the series button, and we're just going to apply this first to our suckers. You're going to scroll down on this right hand, I don't know, what do you call this? Whatever this is, this right hand options menu. And we're going to go to a constant. And our constant, we don't want it to be a 10, we want it to be 0.31. No, we don't want it to be that either. What do we want it to be? We want it to be 0.0593 is good enough. 5%. And we're going to do the same thing for our mid canopy numbers, error bars. So let me go slow. So you go to series, you select mid canopy, we scroll down to error bars, and we want this to be you click on error bars, you want this to be a constant number, 0.0758. I see what's happening. Because it's not scaled from 0 to 100, it's 0 to 0.8, and so this is actually 7%. This is actually 5%. It just looks bigger. I was trying to figure out what was going on. But yeah, there you have it. Then we're going to go up. I'm going to go to docs.new. Docs.new. And we've got this here, so we're just going to click on this thing. I'm going to go edit, copy. I single clicked here. You go edit, copy. We'll go to our doc, and you go edit, paste. And it's telling me that you can use Control-C, Control-V, and I'm going to do that. So you just go paste unlinked. And we can put this at the bottom of, I guess this would be like our results.